Welcome to Hidden Horrors, the show where we uncover the shadows hiding inside your favorite films.
In today's video, we are discussing the hidden horrors behind Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Where do you want to start?
I think the most kind of glaringly obvious part of where the horrors really begin is with the death of Harry's parents, the murder of his parents, and then kind of the subsequent events after that. Obviously, having your parents die, period, is traumatic, but having your parents murdered by an evil wizard is a little bit next level. So there's that, which kind of just taints his entire life, obviously, because at this point he needs to go. Well, I guess he doesn't need to, but they choose to have him go live with the Dursleys, and, you know, things kind of really just spiral from there. There's psychological abuse, neglect, food deprivation, all kinds of things. And I mean, we see him literally living in a closet, and he seems like he's kind of just at their beck and call and does whatever they want. And I mean, we even see when they go out for
The boy's birthday.
Yeah, I just completely blanked and forgot his name. You know, like, he's threatening him in the driveway. Like, there's never any type of care for him or hope that he has fun or he has a good time, or it's just kind of, and that's just what we see, because at this point, you know, he's how old, and who knows how they've treated him up until this point. So, yeah, I don't know where you want to go after that. That's what I've got to start out.
For me, the horror you can kind of see in like the atmosphere of the film. First of all, I want to point out, especially if you've seen the franchise before, which I'm sure a lot of people have, but you know, when you're watching like the title card of the film, each film, you know, as you go into the franchise more and more, it gets darker and darker, and I really like that, because it kind of progressed with the story, because the story does get darker and darker with each film. But like the whole atmosphere of Harry Potter, first of all, it always feel like something you would watch around Halloween. It gives off that spooky vibe. I mean, you know, there's witches and wizards and, you know, a lot of things that we care about during Halloween. I mean, there's even a Halloween point of the movie where they're in the Great Hall, and they have the floating pumpkins and things like that. So it definitely gives off a Halloween vibe. But the movie overall, it has this feel of, you know, magic, Harry discovering magic and things like that. It's kind of like the movie Poltergeist that came out in 1982, because the family experienced, you know, certain things happening with the chairs moving at the table, and you know they had put Caroline on the floor, and you know, like some force had pulled her. You know, obviously you couldn't see anything, but you know, it was some invisible force that pulled her or whatever. You know, so it kind of felt magical and playful almost in a way. You know, so they were kind of in awe about it. And the same thing with Harry Potter. You know, the first thing you saw was, you know, Hagrid gave what's his name, Dudley, Dudley a tail, or even, you know, when, like you said, when they went out for Dudley's birthday, he made the glass disappear.
Yeah.
Or he heard the snake talk, you know. So he you know, he saw some things and was in awe of it. But just like with Poltergeist, at a certain point, the same thing that he was in awe of, there were a lot of darker moments. You know, like the 3-headed dog, you know, the troll at Halloween, or the dark forest when he ran into Voldemort eating the unicorn, the wizard's chess game, you know, playing, when him and Ron was playing that, it was fun until they were in like the real live version of that, and
Right.
you know, it wasn't so much fun. And that scene and the scene before it, which was when he had to get the key.
Yeah.
All the keys were flying around and stuff like that. You know, those two scenes and the scene before that with the what was it, the devil snare?
Devil snare, yeah.
Those scenes felt almost like a escape room type of moments.
Yeah, and poor Ron.
You know, when another character was trying to harm him in the Quidditch game, you know, it was a lot of moments where he realized that this world is also dangerous. It's not just all fun and games and stuff like that. So that's definitely a hidden horror moment, I think, that spread out the film.
Yeah, I think it gets to a point where like that ominous feeling kind of takes over and you're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next. I did write down some of the same stuff. Obviously, creature, horror, supernatural type stuff. Fluffy, you know, even though he's cute. The devil snare, you know, Ron losing his mind because he can't relax. And I mean, at that point, like, you know, it would suffocate him. I obviously wrote down the troll as well because, you know, he was kind of big and ugly and gross, and there's that. But I also wrote down the restricted book section for kind of like the supernatural, because I think there was a lot of cool stuff in there. And obviously you've got, you know, the factor of it being restricted and them not allowed to be in there. So there's that.
The other thing is the mirror of Eris said, I think is how it's pronounced. Which in the film, I don't know if in the book it maybe went more into detail about it, but in the film it never said that it was a cursed object. Did it say that in the film or a book at all? Or
I feel like it may have, but I can't remember.
Well, because in the movie, you know, Dumbledore was explaining it to him that the mirror shows it's, you know, your deepest desires and things like that. And, you know, he said that a lot of men have wasted away in front of the mirror trying to, you know, just looking at their dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He even said that quote, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. You know, it's similar to the movie Oculus that came out in 2013, just because it ironically, no pun intended, but you know, it mirrors the mirror in Oculus, because that was like a cursed object. And
I've never seen the movie. Same way with I've never seen that Poltergeist movie that you were talking about.
Oh my God, you seen a remake of Poltergeist?
And it was ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, the original came out in 1982, and you hate 80s movies, so you're not gonna like that.
It's also probably ass. That's fine.
No, that's a classic.
You use that word a lot, and
it's a classic. That's where the line, you know, they're here with the little girl, Caroline.
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
I don't know who the fuck Caroline is, and I don't know what line you're referencing.
Oh my God. It's like one of the most popular lines in horror. Easily.
Never heard it.
Anyway, the mirror definitely reminded me of the Oculus film a little bit. They're not exactly the same, but you know, just similar. You had anything else?
I mean, I think with the mirror, it can be cruel too, because obviously in Harry's case, it's something completely unattainable. Like, he cannot get his parents back. He can't reunite with them. And, you know, with Ron, his was a little bit more lighthearted, where he had, you know, won the Quidditch Cup and all of that. That's something that's attainable. But, you know, for Harry, that's a little bit more dark and depressing, because he can't get his parents back. So
yeah, that's probably why Dumbledore didn't want Harry to go looking for the mirror, even though he wound up finding it again. The last thing I have is Professor Quirrell and Voldemort. You because they shared a body.
Yeah, that's really what I have too.
Oh, you go ahead.
I just basically that like Voldemort is kind of latched onto Quirrell like a parasite, and I vividly remember watching this movie for the first time in the movie theater and like watching him unwrap his turban and like seeing that, and I still remember that to this day. It was a very very shocking visual, but it was a good one.
It's very similar to like body horror and stuff. That's you would see
literally what I wrote down. Yeah,
stuff you would see in a body horror film.
Yeah,
because like you said, Voldemort was a parasite. So think of films like Slither or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or one of your favorite films, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yeah, great movie, guys. Great movie.
Just basically a parasite living inside of a host, and controlling the body and stuff like that. Although and again, I don't know what the book said, but in the movie they don't really explain how much Voldemort controlled Professor Quirrell, if he controlled him at all, really.
I mean, I think he definitely did to an extent, but I think it was also like Quirrell's willingness to do what he wanted also. Like,
basically just being a follower. And
yeah, I think he did what he was asked to do. I don't think it was like him physically controlling his body type of thing.
Yeah. Well, because I just wondered, because, Professor Quirrell for most of the movie had like this, I don't know, like goofy side to him almost.
He was
like
just kind of like a sniveling little rat. Like he just seemed very like, I don't know, like a little bitch.
He just seemed harmless.
Oh, yeah.
But then, he had this whole dark, evil thing attached to him. So definitely horror-esque there. You have any other?
The only other thing that I put underneath body horror was kind of Quirrell's disintegration right at the end of that scene.
When he turned to ash.
Yeah, I thought that was, fun. And again, seeing that for the first time, it was a time. So, but that's really all I have. I mean, obviously, you can go way deeper into kind of Harry's home life and his abuse that he suffered and the consequences, that he's had to face of his parents being murdered and all of that. But that's really all I've got.
And really, when you look at, a lot of other things in the film, I mean, it's more Halloween, not really horror, I would say. But, the Hogwarts as a school is kind of like a haunted house almost. You had ghosts flying around. You had the staircase. Yeah, you had pictures that could move and talk and stuff like that. Statues that could move. Like the whole school seemed like a haunted house.
Yeah, and it really kind of gives off that perfect, like, just gothic kind of vibe, especially when you look at it from the outside and really see how big it is. And yeah.
Yeah. And, this, we are doing all 8 films this month, the month of October. And, as we go further into the franchise, it definitely get darker and darker and darker. Although, we see the school again, we see some of the same things with the pictures and certain things, but the story gets darker and darker.
For sure.
So, just proves the point that horror is in everything.